Hello again, this is Bob Milam from the Salt Lake chapter of the Utah High School Football Officials Association with another 2019 study topic, this time talking about extra points and field goals as part of the kicking game. What we're going to cover today are the background and definitions of the scrimmage kick and the extra point and field goals. We'll talk about the scrimmage kick formation, Rule 214-2A, that pertains to place kicks. Talk about the differences between extra points and field goals and punts. Cover the subject of roughing the kicker, snapper, holder, which occurs on these plays. Talk about other scrimmage kick penalties and options that are available. Cover scrimmage kick mechanics for this play, which is a key factor in our coverage and our ability to get these plays right. And then finally, sum up with our usual summary and questions. So let's dive right in. First, the background and the definitions of the two types of place kicks that we have out of these formations. A field goal is a type of a legal scrimmage kick, usually done on fourth down, but not necessarily. And it differs from an extra point, which is a try following a touchdown. These types of kicks are defined in these rules, and I strongly encourage you to go to your rule book and read these definitions, particularly Rule 224-6 and 224-7 that defines a drop kick and a place kick. Now, just like punts, the place kick for field goal may not be touched or recovered by Team K beyond the neutral zone until Team R touches it. Also remember that there are differing restrictions between free kicks and scrimmage kicks. But the key point that you need to learn is this. Make sure that you are 100% crystal clear on when the kick ends. This can be found in these references in your rule books. Let's take a look now and spend a few minutes talking about the scrimmage kick formation as defined in Rule 214-2A. This differs from the scrimmage kick formation that is used for punts. First, no player can be in position to receive a hand-to-hand snap, and at the snap, a K player, namely the holder, is in position with a knee on the ground, 7 yards or more behind the line of scrimmage. This is important. At the snap, his knee must be on the ground. Also, another player 3 yards or less behind the holder in position to attempt a place kick. So, does this particular formation qualify under 214-2A? Absolutely. This is scrimmage kick formation for field goals. Must K be in this formation to execute a legal place kick? Technically no, but in reality yes. In order to do this, you have to have a holder on the ground with his knee on the ground to receive the snap. Now, must K be in this formation to execute a legal drop kick, which we rarely see in football these days? And the answer to that question, of course, is no, he doesn't. Now, why is this formation important to the game of football and to us as officials? Two main reasons. Number one, numbering exceptions. This will be covered in another session that we will release shortly. But numbering exceptions come into play when a team qualifies in this formation. They're allowed certain freedoms that they're not allowed in other formations. Secondly, it triggers the snapper protection on the snap. So for roughing the snapper, this can only occur if a team qualifies in this formation. But as you look at the diagram, I want you to just notice one thing. What is our referee doing over here? I think he's on the wrong side of this formation, and we'll cover that a little bit later when we talk about mechanics. Let's talk now about the differences between extra points and field goals and punts as two different types of scrimmage kicks. The main difference is that Team K can score from an extra point or field goal attempt. It's a live ball on a field goal, but dead after an extra point attempt. This is an important distinction to make. Make sure you know what type of play we're running. Live ball and dead ball exceptions are in effect on these plays, and in the case of the ball itself, if the ball touches the upright, the crossbar, an official, or an R player, the ball remains live on these plays. Also, there are exceptions where the ball remains live for the holder. For example, if the holder catches or recovers the snap and then places it while his knee is on the ground, the ball remains live. Also, the ball can remain live if the holder rises to catch an errant snap, then immediately returns and places it for the kick. However, the holder must start with his knee on the ground at the snap in both instances. Otherwise, these exceptions don't apply. Finally, remember that the ball is dead if the holder before rising does any of these three things: either passes the ball, kicks the ball, or hands the ball. They must rise first before doing any of these three things. Now let's talk about kick-catch interference on a field goal or extra point. Basically, it's the same as on the punt, because a scrimmage kick is a scrimmage kick according to the rules. Kick-catch interference, just like on punts, only applies to Team K. Team R cannot commit this foul by rule. It applies until the kick is touched by R, but there are some exceptions here, just like on the punt. K may catch, touch, muff, or bat the ball in flight between the neutral zone and the goal line if no R player is in position to catch the ball. So they may do this. Unlike a free kick, these things may occur if there's no R player in position to make the catch. Let's cover for a minute roughing the kicker, snapper, and holder. These penalties are all 15 yards in high school football and all carry an automatic first down. 3 of the 4 that do in the rule book. Now, snapper and holder protection is triggered by formation that we covered, formation 214-2A. But kicker protection is the same as a punter, and it's triggered by the definition of a kicker and the definition of a defenseless player. These are found on pages 35 and 37 in your rule book. Make sure you understand them, especially you referees who have to cover this. But there are some exceptions, and these are covered on page 72. Here they are. If the contact is unavoidable and it's not certain that a kick will be made. Now, on a place kick, unlike a punt, this rarely happens. But also if the contact is unavoidable and the defense touches the kick near the kicker, or if the contact is slight and is caused by the movement of the kicker into the defensive player. Finally, if the contact is caused by R being blocked into the kicker by Team K, then we can have an exception here. But in all of these cases, remember, use common sense in applying this rule. Each situation will be different, and the safety of the players is of utmost importance. So please use common sense. Other penalties and options that can occur on extra points and on field goals: dead ball fouls before the down starts. We don't have any change in the rules here. Everything is handled exactly the same. Live ball fouls during the down by K can include these and these 4 fouls, and these types of fouls that can occur during the kick. Once the kick has ended, it is either going to be a running play for the return team or a dead ball foul. So make sure that you understand the distinction of when the kick ends. Now, certain fouls by R, the PSK rule will be in effect on field goals if the attempt is short and remains in the field of play. Also, remember, we have, as of last year, 2018, we have our new succeeding spot option if it's a foul by K that is not kick catch interference, occurs during the down and before the end of the kick, and K will not be next to snap the ball. So it's essentially covering these fouls right here. Then we can offer the succeeding spot option. Spend some time talking about scrimmage kick mechanics. Basically, where you can find them for a field goal attempt or an extra point is in the mechanics book on pages 46 to 48. But you must know, and the crew must be very familiar with these mechanics and know when the ball will become dead on an extra point versus a field goal. And this is an important signal to prepare for. Also, make sure that as crews you plan ahead how you're going to cover the so-called swinging gate formation, the blown play, the fake field goal or fake place kick, and long attempts snapped from outside, say, the 30-yard line. These all require special coverage and should be communicated and pre-gamed together by your crew, because screwy stuff always happens on kicks. So be aware of this. All right, let's sum up what we've talked about today. Field goals and extra point are different animals. They're different than other plays, and they have tremendous outcome on the game. Make sure that you understand the scrimmage kick formation rules as found in Rule 214-2A for field goals and extra points. Learn and memorize the live ball, dead ball differences and the exceptions for those, and the kick catch interference rules. Also, remember, protect your kicker, your snapper, and your holder. Review the scrimmage kick penalty options and study the mechanics manuals to make sure that you're ready for these plays, and then be ready to scramble and cover the fire drill. The main thing with extra points and field goals is that sometimes we tend to lose our focus and take these plays off and mentally check out during the play, and then we're caught scrambling when something strange happens. So my best piece of advice to you in this entire presentation is simply this: expect the weird stuff. It's going to happen. Well, thanks for listening. Once again, this has been another session in our 2019 study. We hope you have a great season this year.